Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Record RC. Today's guest, we have a very entertaining crew. These gentlemen come from, well, I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit of podunk. But these guys come up with some really creative ideas, and that's what we are here to talk about. And I say that with love because in full disclosure, I am a member of the VA Scalers Club hosted at Adrenaline RC Raceway in Winchester, Virginia. These guys have literally built an amazing rock course through connections. And I mean, always coming up with some shenanigans to test drivers from the local area that are of national skills. So, gentlemen, welcome. Oh man, it's already a long night. So from I guess you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure,
Go
sure.
ahead,
Why not?
go ahead, old head.
I'm Willis Gordon. I guess I head up VA Scaler. I try to keep all these yahoos in line, but I enjoy it at the same time.
You know that's a
Shane
lie.
Hoffman Shane Hoffman and I do what they tell me to do, pretty much. I'm the minion. I'm Will Klein. I tell him what to do.
So
it works.
it does work, and that's the beautiful thing. So as I go on, um, guys, can you tell us a little bit about the club itself?
So the club was established somewhere around 2007, 2008. Three gentlemen that I knew, I became friends with, established the club back then. Those three gentlemen, one has actually passed away. It was an older gentleman. And the other two just kind of got away from the hobby and don't really do anything with it anymore. So I brought in another friend of mine, and me and him kept it alive for a few years. And then I got some other club members like Shane and William and a few other guys come in and just helped us kickstart it and get it to where it is today.
So where is it today? How many people do you guys generally pull from what areas? Tell us a little bit about some of the comps and discussions that go on there.
I think most of the comps now we're averaging anywhere from 20 to 40 people. Our max, I think we had like 50 to 60 to one time. Once or twice we've had that many. But we're averaging like I would say 25 to 35 people at each comp.
Oh, that's quite a few. And that 25, 30 people, they're running multiple classes.
Yeah, we so on a couple of comps we'll run class 1, 2, and 3. On the rest of the comps we normally alternate. Like one comp we'll do class 2, class 3. One comp we'll do class 1, class 2. We always do class 2 because that's always going to be your biggest class. Because most of the time when somebody walks into a hobby shop and buys a truck, a box stock truck, 9 times out of 10 is a class 2 legal truck.
Okay, so when you're talking about the classes, are you running Sorka Light? What kind of rules are people going to be going by whenever they show up at a VA Scaler event?
So we ourselves, we follow Sorka rules.
Okay, all right. So go ahead.
We follow Sorka rules, and that basically just gives you a good set of rules to follow and a good base to get started on.
All right. Well, so I would be like, I would be able to take a trail truck and just kind of and be able to compete.
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Well, that's that. I mean, quite honestly, that's a beautiful thing. How often do you have brand new drivers coming out?
We have just about every comp. We have at least 2 to 3 guys that sometimes more that have never been to a comp. Some of them just buy the trucks, they play in their yard a little bit, and then they want to come out to the comp scene and try it out.
All right. Well, I mean, I could see that being a little bit frustrating sometimes, especially for some of the newer guys.
Gabriel.
So, I mean, looking through, Shane, Will, what are some of your contributions throughout the club?
That side of the box.
Pretty much just
That side of the box.
course building. I mean, it takes all of us. You know, there's what, 6 or 7 of us core guys.
Yeah, there's probably 6 or 7 of us that go out and do stuff and put some time in at the course and build some different obstacles and stuff like that.
I saw. So checking out the course from if you're in like Maryland or West Virginia, it's a bit of a drive. Is it worth coming out kind of situation to scope it out? Where can you go to check out some pictures from the course, and where can you go to just see pictures of the whole venue?
Yeah, check us out on Facebook, obviously, and we're on the grounds of Adrenaline RC. I mean, we were lucky enough to partner up with them. Check out their Facebook page for off-road racing, indoor off-road racing.
And we also have some guys that come to the comps and do GoPro videoing, and that stuff's on YouTube as well. I don't know, like, I'll throw a name out there, William Riddle. William Riddle does awesome videos every comp he goes to. He has a lot of our ground, a lot of videos of our scale park and our grounds on his YouTube page.
All right, that's awesome. So I mean, I believe William Riddle's handle is at William Riddle on YouTube. I will confirm here in a hot second. But yeah, he gets some really good views and whatnot of the particular venue. He's kind of one of those guys that I look at his stuff, so because he gets a lot of my shenanigans too, which I do enjoy watching my fails. Those tend to be like the first things you see are my fails. So just so you guys know, it's all about it.
MJ Thumbnail Cummins.
What? Yeah, that's me. Huh? So, looking forward, looking up, I want to give a couple quick shout outs. I see some of our people coming in. We got RC next Tuesday from across the pond, guys. Coming over from England. Those guys are hilarious. We got Todd. He's actually a new member brought in. So awesome. Congratulations. By the way, congrats on being picked up by G-Speed. That's huge. We got Doug Jones. We got Chris C coming in, as well as Oscar coming in. By the way, any donations that are made to throughout the day. Hey, we got Gabriel coming in too. Any donations that are made to the channel immediately go over to Operation 11 Charlie. I just want to make sure that everything is clear. So let's talk turkey. You guys have mentioned comps. You guys have mentioned all that good stuff. What is the comp? I say our comp schedule, but what does the comp schedule look like?
So this year we got we actually got some few comps. For our regular comps, we're going to have 5 different comps starting in March, and the last one will be Toys for Tots on December 4th. We do a Toys for Tots every year. We've done Toys for Tots for the last 5 years, 6 years, and we have filled up at least 2 to 3 boxes of donations every time we do it. We're a big supporter of that, and we'll continue to do that for as long as I can get everybody to do it.
So speaking of events like that are from my experience inside the hobby itself, that's kind of what any kind of sponsors want to really get in on, like those big events where things are going to charity. As you guys go and as you guys talk, how can sponsors get a hold of VA Scalar, so that way they can, reach out or we can reach out to them to open up the lines of communication to be a sponsor for one of the events.
So I'll turn that over to my man Shane here. He does all the sponsor work. He hounds them all and gets all of our prize giveaways every year.
Yeah, so I mean, we just posted the schedule. Willis just posted the schedule yesterday, I guess, for this year.
Yes,
so it's time for me to start going after, sponsors, and we've been blessed with a lot of great sponsors, many, many great sponsors. And hey, if anybody wants to reach out to us, just message us on Facebook, and we're there. Otherwise, this next coming week, I'll be reaching out, and, we're grateful for anything. I mean, we work hard. We want everybody to have fun. But if it wasn't for good sponsors, we wouldn't be here.
And we've had awesome sponsors. Like, we've had Boca back to back for I don't know how many years now. We've had Scalar Fab. Last year we had RC 4-wheel drive. They headlined the Toys for Tots comp. We've also had Proline. Prolines came through the past couple of years. Was it
A-Main Hobbies?
A-Main Hobbies.
Scale by Chris.
Yep, Scale by Chris.
RC Guru Shack.
Yep, RC Guru. I mean, we've had all kinds of good sponsors, and we hope that they all come back. We love it.
Super Shafty.
Yep, we've had Super Shafty in there as well.
That's awesome.
Even had Record RC for one or two.
Yep, we had Record RC. We even had In the Works a couple of times.
In the Works.
Yeah.
In the Works been there a couple of times. We had the former Hardcore RC. When the former owner owned it, we had Hardcore RC come in and sponsor us a few times.
That's awesome.
And
So
none of this is possible without great sponsors.
Well, hey, look, that's without the sponsors, the hobby wouldn't grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys take a look at all those, everybody that was referenced. There's so many companies that have put forth, whether it's a product or a gift code. I think SRDLV was also, also
that's right.
They're one of my personal sponsors as well. And man, I really love seeing this. All right, so looking at the schedule itself, I'm going to share, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to actually share the schedule so you guys can see it lovely through my photos, because, it is what it is. Thank you. I'm going to throw you under the bus. I love you, Will, but, All right, so let's talk turkey. What are our dates?
So March 13th, that will be all three classes we will run at that comp. Class 1, 2, and 3. That is a Sorca rule event.
Excellent.
And then you got May. I can't remember exactly what I put down. I believe May is class 2 and 3.
I think so. It's all detailed on Facebook. I'll lose 2 and 3.
Yeah, I got so I made all the event pages on our Facebook page. So all the event pages is on there. You can go in there and you can read in the description what each comp is going to be. The drivers meeting times, the comp start times. I mean, sometimes we run a little late just depending on what's going on. But I have your entry fees on there. I have the address of the comps on there. The top 5 will be held at Adrenaline RC. That will be held at our scale park at Adrenaline. The bottom one, it will be held at the Dolly Ranch. That is our camel trophy.
Awesome. So in camel trophy, even though it's a Sorca event, like technically by the rules, are there any gates or any what's the feel of that event? Because I have a feeling I do know it's quite a bit different than all the other traditional Sorca events.
So the Camel Trophy is kind of like our fun run day, I guess you would say. It's not really a comp, but it is a comp. It's a timed event. We don't count penalties. We don't count reverses. We don't count gates. There is gates. We don't count scale points. Basically, we don't count any points for the Camel Trophy. It is strictly a timed event. So we set out, I think last year we had just over 200 gates we had set out. So basically it's on an honor system. You and your teammate goes out and runs all the gates, goes through the gates. There's always mud involved. There's water involved. There's always winching involved or tow ropes. And basically your goal is to be the first one done.
I'm fat, so I'll never be the first one done.
But you always have fun. That's all that matters.
That is the truth. Right. And the one thing that I've noticed, I've personally done the Camel Trophy 2 times, and the one thing that you always see is that's the least frustration in any event, because even though it's a competition, it's the atmosphere is much different. They're more worried
Yep,
about getting,
it's way more relaxed.
it's all about finishing at this, for most of it.
Absolutely.
Yep, it's a good time.
It is. They've had some
It's a
stuff
long
that
one.
I wish I had my 6x6 last year. I should have brought my 6x6, but I failed.
Yeah, you did.
All right. So
William Cloud finally showed up. He said, "Yeah, you did."
I heard him. I'm just ignoring him. I'm just straight ignoring him. All right. So I'm going to change the share up a little bit. And why don't you guys go ahead? Let's get into the meat. I know some people via the tube of views are itching a little bit to like, what is VA Scalar doing with this Kings List stuff? And is it different than West Coast? What's going on with this? Let's get into it.
So the guy you mentioned earlier, Todd Custer, he's a new club member to us last couple months. We've known him for quite a while. He took a little stint away and he come back strong, doing really well. He brought they apparently have a list that they run out west. It's a top 10 list. It's from what I take, it's their top 10 crawlers in their area. They have a top 10 list. They had a lot of rules and stuff like that. Todd brought it to my attention. He caught wind of it on Facebook. He brought it to my attention. He started sending stuff to me. We were messaging back and forth. They had a lot of stipulations. I kind of dumbed it down just because I'm a dumb old redneck and I don't want a whole bunch of rules I have to deal with. So I kind of dumbed it down to what I'm going to dub as the Kings List. So we're going to have Kings comps, and it's going to be a separate comp from any other comps. It's going to be 4 of them a year. Each quarter of the year, you will have a Kings comp. It will finish up. The last one will be in December. And it's basically a top 10 list. Just kind of like Street Outlaws on DirecTV or Discovery Channel. You got a top 10 list. So the first Kings comp will be an open invite. Anybody that wants to show up can show up and run for the Kings List. We're going to set up 2 10-gate technical courses, really technical courses, because you're talking about the Kings now. Everybody's supposed to be on top of their game. That's what you want on your top 10 list. So we're going to open the door to anybody that wants to come and run for the list. The top 10 that finishes at that comp will be our top 10 list. And then basically anything on the list, just like I said, just like Street Outlaws, you can call the guy out above you. If you beat that guy, you take his spot. If that guy's not there, then you can take that guy's spot and you can move up one.
That's that. I mean, hey, as brutal as it is, it's business. It's it's pretty hardcore.
I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I think it's going to get the competitive juices flowing. I mean, we got some really good drivers around here. I know some really good drivers in Maryland that come to our comps. I mean, there's some really good drivers all around this area within 2 to 3, 4 hour drive. That is really good, and I think could take a really good shot at this list.
Hey, I totally agree. Having some of the experience and being able to drive with some of these guys, I think something like this would also pull drivers from the surrounding areas as well. I really think that this might explode, and I'm really excited to see it because as a driver, I want to become better. Right? I want to come up with some crazy lines. And so anybody that's local to our area will understand this question. Are you going to let Brent set gates?
Absolutely, I'm going to let Brent set gates.
All right.
Absolutely.
So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, says this is going to be a King's comp because I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely.
Brent's gates are some
Hey, man, the Kings are supposed to be the best of the best. That's what you want on the list is the best of the best. So I got to have the man set the gates. I mean, that man set some good gates, so I gotta have it. Let it happen.
That man does set some very good gates. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get some of these rules up. Let's start going over some of the rules, because the first one right off the bat, that seems to be one of the most interesting ones, because I have a reputation of pushing every rule possible, and this one, I don't want to.
Are you serious?
Yeah, these guys. I literally take it to the man in the middle here to make sure it's legal.
I keep it straight, babe.
I know. You should see. You should. All I have to say is, those who know me, when you guys see the shenanigans coming up on I'm going to reveal the name, Malicious Compliance. It's a very well thought out name for that truck.
Hey, and so to back it up a little bit, on the regular Sorka comps this year, we're going to start teching vehicles in. We're going to set up a tech table. We're going to start teching everybody's rigs in that they're going to run at the comp. And also, I mean, you can have a spotter if you would choose to have a spotter to help you out on your run. That's fine. But also, if your spotter touches the gate or touches your truck or touches your winch line or anything like that, that's going to count against you, as it would in Sorka rules.
So you have to set your own winch points, and we're using natural winch points, right? No winch sticks.
No winch sticks, natural winch points.
Good. For those on the West Coast, this is how we really do it right here. Y'all know who I'm talking about. All right. So that said, let's go ahead and let's go over some of these rules. Now, I'm going to share some of the rules. The first set is going to come out pretty nice and pretty legible. The second half is is a little bit harder to read, just the way the picture came out. But you guys can go on after our interview is finished. Go on the VA Scaler page and check out the rules. All right, let's talk about the rules. Who's our first victim to go through and talk? Will, you haven't said much.
No, I'm good. Same.
I mean, it's got to be a Class 2 rig, Sorka legal Class 2 rig. You know, it's still a Sorka comp. You know, so all rules apply. One comp each quarter. And the first comp list will be made. The top 10 will be made. And then from there on, it's just a matter of calling out. If you get called out, or if you call someone out and they defend their spot, then you got to defend your spot before you can call up again. If you call up
for gate courses, for courses.
What's that?
What's the time limit?
Time limit's going to be 12 minutes. 12 minutes on the courses.
Okay. All right. So let's say a driver breaks. How do you address the driver breaking?
So if the driver breaks on the course while he's comping and the other guy finishes, the other guy takes his spot. If the driver breaks before he's on the comp course, the driver that challenged him, is his choice to take the spot or to let the driver repair his truck before they comp.
Okay. I mean, look, this is winner takes all kind of situation, right?
Yep. Yes, sir, it is.
All right. So how many spots can a driver lose at a worst case scenario?
A driver can lose 2 spots.
Okay.
Rather it be he gets beat for the 2 spots, or he's not at the comp. If he's not at the comp and the driver below him chooses to take his spot, he can. and then the next driver below that can take his spot, but he will only lose 2 spots if he's not there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so looking past the first 10 rules are pretty straightforward. I'm kind of switching the gears. It's really hard to see the actual the rules as it sits on the screen. So for that, I apologize to our viewers. By the way, we got In the Works in the house, Bull Gear, Bill Riddle's through in here, Sean's RC Adventures, our good Irishman. Yeah, we got lots of guys coming in and saying hi. So awesome. Appreciate every second of this, guys. So
yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. Thank y'all.
So all right, let's go through the rest of these rules, starting at 11. I mean, 11 is pretty clear. There's only 10 spots, right?
There's only 10.
Yep.
Okay. So continue. So as we go on, what are the other interesting highlights of these rules that we can see?
If a driver gets called out for the second time, you've got to run the course the reverse direction.
Okay, which is basically a brand new course, just not set.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Two courses backwards.
All right.
And we will have all that in mind when setting these courses up. You know, we'll set them up be ran forwards and backwards.
Okay. So then what if a driver gets called out like that third time, right? You've already ran it forward, called backwards. What's the procedure going to be? Because we all know that 10 spot that's it. That is what it is.
So we haven't ironed that detail out yet. We may quickly set up another course, or we may have them run the scramble course.
Okay.
Which we haven't got to.
Yeah, which we haven't covered the scramble part yet.
Why don't we take a second and talk about the scramble?
Okay, so the scramble is, so we'll have 10 spots on the list, and at any time at the 4 comps, the driver number 10 can get called out. And that means, like, say we got like 10 people that shows up at the comp and wants to get on the list. So we're going to set up a scramble course of 15 gates. Each one of them 10 drivers run the scramble course. The top 3 guys out of the scramble gets to challenge the 10 spot.
Okay. So William's asking, is it a new course for each comp?
It will be a new course for each comp.
Yes, and
it will be two 10-gate courses for each comp, and yes, it will be different courses every comp.
Okay, just like you guys do with your Sorka events. So you're treating this truly as like a Sorka event, just the point where the points don't. Hey, it's like Drew Carey's show where the points don't matter.
Exactly.
Right.
It's all driver. All driver. No scale points count. It's all driver.
I like it. I can see some real interesting builds coming out to play. I foresee it. I also
interesting conversations in the course. Lots of call outs.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm saying lots of call outs in the comps on comp day. It's going to make some interesting conversation.
Oh, it will. You'll see a little bit of drama. Why not? Have a little fun with it. So, all right. So we said it was, we got a 10-gate course, 12-minute time limit. You guys also highlighted that it's natural winch points only. That is an important aspect. Yep. Why is that so important?
Well, I don't want anybody hooking to somebody's shoelace or your pants leg, or you stepping on your winch anchor or anything like that, or holding your winch. None of that stuff. It has to be natural winch points.
Scale driving.
Okay. I mean, yeah. All right. So looking forward, and let's say someone has a Class 1 truck. Could they theoretically attempt to drive the for the event?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
But if you enter a Class 1 truck at the first comp, you have to use that truck, that platform, throughout the whole series.
So that's a really interesting point. Let's take some time and really bring into that and really dig deep to that. So I see a couple of rules regarding that. Can you talk about them?
Sure.
No.
Not at all. We're not going to talk about it now.
We're done here.
So basically, whatever truck and body that you start with in the Kings series, you have to finish the Kings series with that truck and that body.
When you say truck and
Or
body,
that truck and that chassis. I'm sorry.
okay. Now I was going to say, you need to define that because you're talking to I know I'm going to give myself my, throw out my MO here because I am the loophole master. When you say that truck and that chassis, you're talking only about the body itself and the two frame rails?
Yes. The body and the platform that you start with.
Okay, so if you start with a
you
G-Speed,
can upgrade the electronics, you can upgrade the tires, you can upgrade the wheels. You have to keep the chassis that you start with and the body.
okay. That's going to be for some interesting stuff. What about axles?
And you have to, and like William said, you have to keep it Class 2 legal.
Okay. So what about, I have to ask, what about axles?
What about axles?
Can you go from a straight axle to a portal axle? Or if you're running portals, can you go down to a straight axle?
Yeah, but why would you want to go the other way?
Wait,
It's called center of gravity, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can. I guess you can change the axles if you want to.
Okay. Because all right. I just wanted to make sure because I know some people are like me. Well, not everybody's like me, but a lot of people ask my
I don't
opinion.
think anybody like you.
No.
I think you're one of a kind.
You're not wrong.
I don't think the world could handle another MJ.
We have one directly above us sleeping. Oh,
That don't matter. We all love you anyway, MJ.
Sometimes. I know. I push every possible button, and so that's actually that brings some really interesting aspects. Because if you break your body, that means you have to fix your body. You got to shoe goo it and all that.
Yes, sir.
Huh. Interesting. I know what truck's not going to have that happen. I know what body I'm not going to use. Malicious compliance.
So, to skip down to the last rule, the King's Comps will be a full cash payout at the end of the year. So it's a $10 buy-in at each King's Comp. At the last King's Comp, whoever's on top, first, second, and third on the list, gets the pot of the money. We will split it up accordingly between the first, second, and third guys on the top of the list. So all the cash collected in for the King's Comp goes to the Kings on top.
That could be a very healthy sum.
It could very well be.
That could very well be. I find that probably one of the most intriguing things, and that's where the most competition is going to come out. That first one, when they see, I'm hoping to see 30 drivers. I'm not going to lie, because then
I think
that brings competition in.
And there's only 4 comps, so I mean it's going to be a mad dash to the top. And anybody trying to get on that list, you know, maybe they didn't make the first comp and they make the second comp, and they're going to be hell bent to get up that list. You know, so it's going to be interesting.
I totally agree. So as I'm looking forward. I'm looking for the dates of the actual event. At least especially the first event. When is that going to be kicking off here? And it's got to be soon.
So the first King's Comp will be March 27th.
March 27th. All right, I'm going to type that in here. March 27th. Have your rigs ready.
And March 27th is the open invite. So anybody and everybody that wants on the list, show up March 27th. That's an open invite. You got your chance to make it to the top 10.
All right. So
bring your $10 and the platform and body you want to run and get it on.
That's awesome right there. That is awesome. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it because, you know, I know guys coming out of Maryland. I know guys coming, you know, we all know, you know, the gentleman who runs Super Shafty, AJ, comes to our events. He's got some of his team drivers coming to events. We pull guys from Pennsylvania, all over the place. And there's some serious quality drivers. So
absolutely.
And also, I cannot forget a few drivers came up from Central Virginia that came up really strong. You know, put a lot of surprise on a lot of people, which was great to see because now we know.
I could name off 10 or 12 people right off the top of my head that could make this list in a heartbeat and make it very challenging for a lot of other people trying to come on it.
I can imagine right there. I have a small list in my head. I mean, personally, I just want to get on the list.
We all do.
yeah, we all want on. I don't think I have a chance, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, well, I think you and I are the only people that are going to run Northwest Scalar Designs, or unless I go to something else, which could be in the works. No pun intended. Sorry, Brent. Really, truly, no pun intended. But hey, random plug in the Works RC, local to you guys as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Family. Whoa! Don't say that out loud. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. So I mean, go ahead.
Speaking on the King, the whoever ends up number 10, you better get your butts in gear because whoever's number 10, you can get called out 3 different times at each comp. So if you end up number 10, you might want to light a fire under yourself and get moving on up that list.
So that also, what I find is really, especially with that 10 spot, it's not always just about the driver. I mean, it is, but that 10 spot, it's also about rig reliability. And everybody knows who I'm going to look at if you run 10.1 axles.
So, so at the 10 spot, I'll give a little hint out. If you were a smart guy and you were at the 10 spot, at the very first, as soon as you pull into that comp, you would find that number 9 guy and call him out right then and there. Because if not, you're going to be challenged by 3 guys out of the scramble before you even get the call up. So if you was number 10, I would suggest you find that number 9 guy as soon as possible and call him out.
Be waiting at the gate.
Yeah. So how do we want to? How is the actual physical call outs going to go? Is it going to be like come to the tent, you know, yell out, "Yo, I want you," or what? Or like you have to go personally, like I'm calling you out right now.
Like William said, I would say at the drivers' meeting. When we start at the start of the drivers' meeting, one of us will say, "Hey, is there any call outs?" And then we do the call. We take care of the call outs there.
All right.
That way we can manage it. You know, we got to manage this whole thing too. So as far as scorekeeping and all that good stuff. So yeah, the drivers' meeting it'd be all organized, somewhat organized. It's going to get hectic, but you know, we got to make it manageable as well.
Well, Shano, are you ready for a spreadsheet?
I'm ready. I got some thinking to do on this one though, but I'm ready. I got plenty of time.
That's all right. We got plenty of skills inside Excel.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I want to give a huge shout out to you as well for you created a spreadsheet to help keep the scores coming in. I know other events happen to have like some version of a score sheet. You came up with one on your own, and like the speed in which everything was calculated was so much more efficient, and I wanted to just say thank you. I know it made Willis didn't have to do math. It made him happy.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it was awesome.
And also,
it was really awesome. I totally appreciated it.
Oh yeah, and plus, I mean, throw in the win factor. As soon as you got your scores in, we didn't have to worry about, it got in. Boom, done. The scores added up real quick. Called it a day. We didn't have to go chasing as soon as you let off the magic little piece and go chasing in the wind. Because if anybody knows anything about the location of Winchester, it's a really windy spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to thank. I got a little bit of that from Crawl Space. I took some of their ideas. I was looking around. AJ gave me some good tips to improve it. But I thought about that thing for a while before I built it, and I really like the way Crawl Spaces was set up. So I took some of their ideas and made them my own, and then AJ gave me some ideas, and I still got improvements to make, but it needed to be done. Really, we were just racking our brains and papers flying everywhere, and so hey, we're here to get better and we're here to improve, and that's what we're going to do.
Let's be honest. From coming back into the 21st century, and then all of a sudden coming out with a Kings List creation as a club, that's showing a huge jump. I know, like we talked about earlier, the West Coast, it's a big thing, and I mean you always have West Coast versus East Coast, right? You have a crazy set of rules, and now you have a simplified set of rules. Still pretty clear where the expectations are, so Mr. Loophole here doesn't get any too crazy ideas. But also, you also then have natural winch points and winch sticks, and it's just I would love to see this the top 3 guys from each club go to a national event and really fight it out. That would be cool. Did I say that?
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
So, all right, gentlemen.
Probably changing the word. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You were saying something.
You first. Part of the things we've been changing is just we still want the new guy to come out and have fun. We still want the veteran to come out and feel challenged as well. We want everybody to be there, but we also want to start prepping guys for nationals, prepping guys for big comps. I mean, we want to mirror big comps. I mean, we are big comps. We want to be big comps. We want to be that club. And there were a few things. I mean, we do things fairly well, we believe, but we just want to tighten things up a little bit and give people really a true taste of what to expect at a higher level, but yet still cater to the first-year driver that wants to come out and drive his truck that he just saved and bought. We're just it's a fine line, but we're trying to walk it.
That's a very noble line to walk. And like as a little bit as experienced driver, I see a lot of the VA scalar guys and also just people who represent some of the other clubs not afraid to jump in to help out some of those younger drivers or even competitors. Hey, oh no, I blew a diff again. I blew 3 diffs in one comp on one course. Will's just staring at him because that pimping 6x6 ate a few in one course.
I think I love you. Number one.
I'll also throw him a bone here that he did switch axles and is a lot more reliable. So I will give him that.
You'll see.
I hope so. And do not be surprised to see that pimping truck on a Class 2 course.
You never know. On the Kings List.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. We know Will well enough.
You better hope it stays together. We'll see.
Although
build it stronger.
If we see that pimpin on its side, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
Why?
It's beautiful.
it's pretty. It's pretty.
Hey, it's got cage around it. It's made to beat up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Our luck is gonna be that area that's not caged, and that's where it's gonna get the crack.
It can be fixed.
They just have to put some filler in, sand it down, go with it.
Super glue.
Super glue, send it. But that also shows right there. That's actually a great example you brought in. That's super like there's been a couple of comps where I needed super glue and someone randomly happened to have it, or just a little bit of gear lube, because my drive shaft was stupid squeaky, something along those lines. Like I've seen competitors helping each other out throughout the year, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's a culture that VA Scalar does a great job of fostering. So
that's the beauty of this sport. Pretty much everybody, at least around our area, everybody helps everybody out. Everybody will, help you out as much as they can. Somebody will step in and try to help you out with lines, or help you work on your truck or anything.
An axle.
Yeah, I mean they'll rip an axle out of the truck and hand it to you if you need it. I mean that's the beauty of this sport, man. It happens all the time, and it's awesome.
Yes.
Back in the fall, I think it was a fall crawl. We realized that some comps we have trouble keeping up judging. And we don't like to see lines, and there's lines in every comp, and we don't like to see lines, really, if we can help it. But so we decided to start asking for any volunteers to judge. And we got a lot of people who know they can judge with their eyes closed, So we were like, hey, what can I hurt? If somebody jumps in and judges 1 or 2 courses, it's great. It's a big help. We had like 8 people step up and judge, and they judged most of the day. And we were like, holy crap, It was totally, well, I say it was totally unexpected, but it's really not, because that's the nature of this hobby,
And we definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We appreciate any and all help that we get. It's awesome. It makes our day easier. It makes everybody's day go by a lot better, and everybody can have more fun.
Absolutely. By the way, William Riddle's asking a very solid question. Just to recap, if you're not on the First Kings list, can you call out number 10?
Yes. Number 10 can be called out at any of the comps, but you have to run the scramble comp first before you can call out number 10. You have to run the 15-gate scramble comp and be one of the top 3 guys out of the scramble comp in order to call out number 10.
So there might be 15 people coming and try to get on that list. They're all going to run that 15-gate scramble, and the top three have a chance at the list.
All right. So right there. So you guys said it, and I also put it in the chat as well. So there will be a 15-gate scramble to earn the top 3 spot on the scramble. From there, the rest of the drivers can watch or go home, and those 3 drivers have the opportunity to call out the 10 spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a mini comp inside the comp to get there. Like, this is straight driving, ladies and germs.
Yep. You gotta pass the lobby before you get to the main thing.
See, what I find is interesting, and especially like the way you said it, the truck has to be SORCA Class 2 legal. The beautiful thing is most RTRs, actually every RTR crawler that I know of, whether it's G-Made, and I'm going to throw in off-brands here too, G-Made, HPI, Red Cat, Traxxas, all Axial, they all fit the elements. They all fit the Class 2 comp. So if you're running a truck like that, bring it. I have personally won a competition in a different area of Virginia, and like their upper class, by just throwing 2.2s on a bone stock element, brushed motor, brushed ESC, all. So it's possible, guys. It is flat out possible. And of course they were voodoo, so don't worry, Pitbull boys. See, look, at least there's not a song out by that, about that. Thank you, Godsmack.
So just to clarify, all the call outs need to be done at the King's comp. Not at a regular comp, not over your phone messaging, any of that. The call outs need to be at the driver's meeting of a King's comp.
Because we're going to document everything and keep everything straight.
Because that will be the only way that we can manage and know actually who called out who.
Okay, so that makes sense. And then the assumption will be the top three, the top three out of the scramble are calling out number 10. So that's assumed.
Yep.
All right. So cool. That is awesome. I think there's going to be some shenanigans, guys.
Well, that's why I said the number 10 guy, he better keep a fire lit underneath of him and get to moving up that list, because if not, he's going to be driving his truck an awful lot.
Have batteries.
A lot of batteries and a reliable truck.
Well, I didn't hear you, but Will, what was that? It was something.
The number 10 guy could be defending it 3 times every King call. If he's that good.
Yeah. You could be very well be right. Then you know what? Have a reliable truck. And parts to fix it in case worst case scenario. So let's say the 10 driver gets knocked off out of by whether it's a scrambler by a scrambler. Do they have an opportunity to call that spot back out?
The guy that got knocked off?
The guy that got knocked off, he would have to wait until the other 2 guys run before he got an opportunity to call number 10 back out.
But he couldn't call him out that comp.
Yeah, and he wouldn't be able to call him out that comp. He would have to wait till the next comp to call him out.
Okay, so you get knocked off that list. Your next opportunity to get back on that list is you have to run the scramble and then get top 3 to call back out. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure that was clear, because I can see that being a
That's
point.
the other reason. That's the other reason the number 10 guy's got to light a fire under himself and get moving up that list. You don't want to hang out at the number 10 spot. That's a bad spot to be at.
Mm-hmm. So Chris C is asking, if you win, can you keep going up the spots? How many spots
absolutely
through the day?
You can go up as many spots as you want to.
If you can win, you can go up.
If you can win, you can go all the way to number 1.
And we will set an end time.
Yeah, we will set an end of the day time. Like at, say, 4 o'clock, we stop all comps.
Okay. I think that's gonna be a good thing.
Yeah, just so we're not there until like 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night trying to run all these comps through.
Okay. You know what?
But if we start the comp at like 9 in the morning and we shut it down at 4, that gives you more than enough time to call out a few people, run a bunch of runs. I mean, that should give you ample time to do what you need to do.
Okay. Good to know. That is really good to know.
But you can call up as long as you don't lose. If you keep winning, you can keep calling up. The first time you lose, you have to defend your spot before you can call up again.
All right. So let's say a 10 driver goes all the way up to 7. He loses against 7. He now has to defend his 8 spot before he can call them back out.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. So it's very much so the model is truly off of taking what the Street Outlaws are doing and applying it to crawling with SORCA-based rules.
Pretty much, yes. And it's all driver. No scale points are counted. It's all driver points. Whatever you do on that course is what your score is going to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it forces the driver to really think about what's going to happen next.
And so if you tie, then it'll go by the time. Whatever time you got finished, whatever time the guy next to you got finished.
Okay.
Also talking about that. So if you and another guy is driving the course and both of you break, the guy that gets the spot is the guy that progressed however many gates. So if the guy progresses 8 gates and breaks, and the other guy progressed 5 gates and breaks, the guy with the 8 gates gets the spot. The guy with the 5 gates doesn't get the spot.
Okay, that is quite interesting to know. And also want to highlight, by the way, there is a local hobby shop on premises that may or may not have parts.
Yep.
So, you know,
there's actually 2 hobby shops in town. We have Adrenaline that we're on site with, and there's also a Hobby Hut, which is across town a little bit. So, I mean, there is options that you can go get the parts if the guy that calls you out chooses to let you go fix your truck.
That's if. That's the big
I
if.
mean, you got to figure there's a money pot up for grabs. So, I mean, there's a lot of say if we get 20 people out of each comp, that's $800 at the end of the year that's getting divvied up between 3 people. So there's a good bit of money that could be on the line. It very well could be a huge pot of money at the end of the year. So, I mean, it's hard to tell. If the guy calls you out and he don't want to wait on you to fix your truck, he can take your spot. I mean, it could very well happen.
That is definitely quite interesting. That is real interesting. So that means you better have your parts, you better know your truck, and you better have spare parts on hand, or else, well, you could be on a bad end of things. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you could fall down 2 spots in a hurry. You might land in the number 10 spot where you don't want to be.
Okay. I mean, on a worst case, if you're still in the 10 spot, it's still on a 10 spot. So better call that number 9 spot out ASAP. I know that would be my first. I'd be chopping at the bit. First thing to do. I mean, yeah. All right. So, as we end up, and you know, I know there's going to be a lot of questions. Again, where do the people ask the questions and go to ask the questions about this comp?
You can go on VA Scaler, or you can message me personally, Willis Gordon, or you can hit Shane up. Basically, you can hit any of the VA Scaler guys up that you know. Hit any of them up if they got any questions, you know, and we'll get together and we'll figure it out. If one of us don't know, we'll get together and figure it all out. But you can go on VA Scaler, the page. You can ask questions there. Or like I said, you can hit one of us up on Facebook.
So I just want to make sure everybody is clear about this. It's not one person making up the rules. There's actually a committee that discusses it. So that way it's not like just you or Willis or just you, Shayna, or just Will are making up the rules. Like there's a whole group of people that discuss anything that needs a question if there's not a clear-cut answer. I want to make sure that's clear.
Yeah, there's always 8 to 10 of us guys that are always in communication pretty much every day. Yeah. So whatever questions or answers or anything that comes up, it's pretty much discussed in through 8 to 10 guys every time that we bring something up. The Kings list has actually been discussed for like the last month. All those 8 or 10 guys, we have been going through the rules. We have been going through them with a fine-tooth comb. You know, what if this scenario happens? What if that scenario happens? And those 8 or 10 guys, we've been hammering the rules out and discussing stuff, and we finally got some jotted down. And this is what we're going to start with. I mean, next season, it could be some different stuff. You know, we might learn some lessons this season and might have to add some stuff in next season. I mean, you never know. But we got to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. So we're opening the door and putting 2 feet in, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. See, that's what I really appreciate about it is on that side, you're not afraid to learn a lesson or two and make a change at a reasonable time. Like the next comp is not reasonable because the rules are set for the year, but coming up for the next season, it's, that rule change will be on the table because it's a new year, a new season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I've been doing rock crawling for probably 8-9 years. We've been doing comps for probably 6 or 7 years of that, and I've learned a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of things. I got these guys beside of me. They've learned a lot of stuff. We've been into a lot of stuff together, and we've learned a lot of stuff throughout the years. We've done a lot of stuff wrong, and we learned how to fix it, and we turned it around.
Awesome.
So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with learning a lesson. Everybody learns a lesson every day. Whether you see it or you don't, you learn a lesson every day.
That's some wise, that's wisdom talking. That sounds like an old man talking right there.
It's because he is.
I mean, coming from the one with Sir Beard a lot.
Yeah, whatever.
Just like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure that everybody is clear. We do all know each other, and also, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to before we close out the evening?
I don't want to give. I don't know, man. I've met a lot of great people in this hobby. Like I just said, I've been doing this for a long time, man. I've met a lot of great people in this hobby. I've made a lot of great friends. I really enjoy it a lot, and I hope to continue to, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I'm gonna continue to do this for as long as I possibly can. And you'll see me at every comp that I can possibly be at, and hopefully all my VA Scalar guys will be there, and we'll all be working it and getting it done.
I love
that's
it.
Matter of fact, that's who I want to shout out to. I want to shout out to all my VA Scalar guys. All the guys, the two sitting beside of me, the rest of the guys in our group chats and stuff, that you know who you are, man. I just want to shout out to you guys, and I appreciate everything that y'all do, all the help that you give me throughout the year, and everything that we do. We do it all together, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the help that y'all do and all the hard work. I'll give you that shout out. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Yeah, that will.
Oh, that's awesome. So while we're on the shout outs, I got to throw out a couple of shout outs to some of my personal sponsors. Starting with, ironically, I know all of us have some sort of parts on his truck from this guy, in the Works RC, Brent Hockman. Yes, there's relation to Porshano. I don't know who's sadder, but yeah, I got to give him a giant shout out.
My brother, MJ thought he was my brother for about a year.
It's true.
One day I was like, MJ, you realize he's not my damn brother, right? What do you mean he's not your brother? I said, he's not my brother.
Well, hey,
you got to make sure you hit Brent up. Make sure you hit Brent up at In the Works, man. He does a lot of cool stuff. He builds a lot of cool rigs, man. He's had his hands in probably everybody's rigs that is in VA Scalar. And he does also. He's helped us all out.
That is true. Also know that his parts are truly tested. Y'all have seen my videos. Y'all know how I'm ruthless on a truck, and his stuff holds up. So that says a lot about the engineering and availability behind it. Also need to give a huge shout out to Reefs RC. He's returning sponsor for 2021. SRDLV doing those really cool scale license plates. I've got ones that will be matching my actual 1-to-1 truck, because I'm going to be ordering some new plates. I'm going to retire my my infamous ones that have graced the region of Northern Virginia for about 8 years and have caused people to have road rage upon their site. Yeah, people don't love my plates. Anyway, also want to give a quick shout out, to Carry All RC. I know this is a Sorka-based discussion, but having their bag has at some of the larger events like Super Shafty has saved my rear end countless times. Being able to carry a spare parts truck, because it's a half a mile walk to get back to your table. Shane knows what I'm talking about. Being able to carry those spare parts and tools, baby. That is where that was life. Not having to go back for batteries, not having to go back for controller batteries. Your controller does have a second controller. There's a space for it, and water. And then as I look around, I also got to give throw out one more shout out. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember because there's so much stuff going on. And I want to come back one more time to In the Works RC. His stuff's been just I've been with him from the beginning as a sponsored driver. And I know every one of us. Willis has a truck that was heavily tuned. I know Will has his 6x6 has been heavily tuned, and it's I give him crap about his OG axles for a reason, but since he's gone away from that, his truck's gonna be deadly. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I know Shano. Well, Shano's got some stuff going down too. I know that look. You can see that smile.
He's loved on a couple of my trucks. He's getting ready to have another one here soon. So
that's the Hawkman smile. All right, so gentlemen, any parting words for our viewers?
Come on out there, comps, man. They're a blast. We'll have the Kings comps going. We'll also have our regular comps going. Come on out and have a good time. Enjoy the fun. RC nerd out with us and just have a blast.
Awesome. I appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you to our viewers. We got Island Duke coming in. William Riddle, Doug Jones, Chris. Chris has been in a bunch of our comps as well. Brent himself, Bull Gear, Sean's RC. We got our boys from RC Next Tuesday across the pond, and Todd Custer. Those are just who commented, and I know there's more people. What?
Hey, we got any of them Maryland guys on here?
I would not be surprised if they're ghosting.
So I'm just asking because I seen on Facebook a little banter there the other day about Maryland calling out some VA guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. Maryland called us out.
Yeah,
MD Taylor.
Yeah, I won't mention any names, but I did see a Maryland guy calling out some VA Scalar guys. So here's the VA Scalar call out. You Maryland guys want some VA Scalar action? Come on down to the first King comp. We'll get it on at the Kings comp. Come on down.
So
VA Scalar versus Maryland.
So what you're saying? A side comp to the Kings comp?
Not even a side comp. Come on down, get in the Kings comp. You want to take on VA Scalar? Come on down. All the VA Scalar boys will be at the Kings comp. I promise you. Come on down, Maryland boys, and see if you can take on the VA Scalar guys. So like I said, I've been doing this for 8-9 years. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been comping with AJ for probably 6 to 7 of that years. And you can ask AJ and a couple of them other OG Maryland guys, but Maryland don't have a very good record with the VA Scalar guys. But we'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that because most of my VA Scalar guys from back then aren't around anymore. I'm pretty much the only OG left. But we'll leave it at that. The Maryland guys want to call out the VA Scalar guys. Come on down to the Kings comp. We'll get it on. VA Scalar in Maryland running in the Kings comp. Let's get it on.
Woo, that's a gauntlet that's set.
That's my call out. Come on down.
See,
$10 buy-in, bring your truck. Let's have a blast.
I love it. I love it.
The Maryland guys want to call out the VA Scalar guys. Come on down to the Kings comp. We'll get it on. VA Scalar in Maryland running in the Kings comp. Let's get it on.
Tell them like it is, Willis.
Gauntlet that's set.
All right, so
that's my call out. Come on down. See, $10 buy-in, bring your truck. Let's have a blast. I love it.
You got the playback.
What's happening? Apparently, I must have hit a button, and it's gotten back. That's so weird. Oh! Ghost Runner 69 would like to sweeten the pot with a $50 donation to the final pot.
All right. All right. That'll work.
What's happening? Apparently, I must have hit a button and it's got back. So
Yeah, what'd you do? You done hit a button. I didn't do nothing over here. You done hit a button.
I'm like, I don't know. Apparently, apparently, Internet Explorer decided to start working randomly, and it was playing our conversation back. So, Willis, you called out Maryland like 8 times.
You're gonna call him out twice now.
Yeah, they called him out twice. They're called out twice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a giant fail, but hey, you know what? It's all good.
Maybe your Internet Explorer didn't like me calling you guys out.
Yeah. So Todd Costas just saying we keep replaying it. So that's a $50 donation to the King's Pot. From William from 59. So hey, Bill, that's you're upping the ante right there.
Oh yeah, get them competitive juices flowing, buddy. That's what it's going to do.
He wants to win his money back. That's what he wants to do.
Oh, dude, look, I know what's going to be happening.
That's a self-incentive for Bill, so he can come win his money back.
Yeah. So that means, gentlemen, we got a lot of work to do. Personally, club-wise, we got to be prepared because these guys are going to be coming with a lot of expectations. I'm really looking forward to it. That's going to be a challenge to run it.
I'll have the rules of the King's List and the King's List comps up on the Facebook page tomorrow.
Excellent. March 27th. Mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the day. It's a Saturday.
And don't forget about our regular comps now. I mean, I know the King's comps is going to be awesome, but don't forget about our regular comps. March 13th is our first comp. That'll be our Irish Crawl. March 13th, all 3 classes. Class 1, 2, and 3.
You know what the best part about that whole thing is? Like the more you get to know that our course, I'm going to throw this out here. It's a little tidbit. The more you get to know the course and the lines, the harder they become because of mud. And anybody that's been to our events knows that mud is thick and it will be ugly.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And yep, I'm not going to tell you.
You hope and pray on a comp day that it don't rain or anything like that.
How about the week before?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, it's happened.
Yep,
it's happened. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say one more time, thank you to our viewers who are joined us, and special shout out to Bill Riddle for throwing a $50 donation to the King's Pot. I'm looking forward to that. I know you want to win your money back, brother. That said, gentlemen, you guys have a great night. Viewers, thank you guys. Without you, this whole aspect would not be able to be here. So I want to just give you guys a giant thank you. To those who are going to be coming, see you March 27th for the King's Comp, and see you. I personally won't be there for March 13th, but the rest of the team will see you March 13th, right? At Taylor events at Adrenaline RC Raceway. Get your wheel time.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Wheel time. In the words of a great mentor of mine, wheel time is key.
Absolutely.
All
right. You guys have a great night. Be safe. And, hey, whatever advice you can get,